up, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva. I'm back here again for another review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. As you can see from my beginning intro, those are just a few samplings of the craziness and chaos that happened on this week's episode of Put It On Your Mama. Baby, you know, anytime we have get-togethers on any reality TV, the formula is sugar lumps for us to have chaos and disorder, a few tables overturned, a little wine splashed, or some water on somebody. And by God, if they did not give us that in this episode, now I don't know what episode we on, all I know we done survived 8 seasons of this. But I am your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva, host of A Diva Disturbed on BFAM 109.6, comedian. Okay, I really don't do stand-up as often. I'm getting back on stage, I promise. But anywho, if this is your first time here on my YouTube channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as hit the notification bell so you can always be in the know when the Diva is uploading a video. So, from the title of this, the whole thing is surrounded around a little bit of motherhood. Also, Rashida had mentioned a few times that she would be putting together a mother's brunch for all mothers and daughters. She's missing her mama a little bit. Sister Charlene is down there in Houston working the store for Rashida. And so she wants her mom to come back. And so Mama D and Scrap's sister are there. And it's just going to be a good time. Also, Erica Dixon could not be in attendance because at the time she was having the twins, and she did have them, but as many of you know who follow her on Instagram, as I do, she was unable to bring those babies immediately home because they were under 5 pounds, I think is the rule of thumb in order for them, but it's the rule of thumb in order to bring home. They were preemies basically. But she was glad that she had her mother and her daughter by her side to help her. Prior to that, as you know, last week, Scrappy and his daughter had a discussion about everyone coming together for the birthday and being decent, and as Erica put it, acting like adults. Well, unfortunately, that did not happen. Now, I still am unclear, and if anyone understood why Scrappy was mad at his mama, I was confused and perplexed by that, okay? Because apparently what happened is Bambi's mother. Now, here's a question that inquiring minds all over Twitter wanted to know on Monday night. Why is it that Bambi's mother was in attendance for a family function that had to do with Imani, her dad, his mom, her stepmom? I think we should cut it off right there. Cece is Bambi's mom. She confronted Erica's mother. And then Scrap got into it. Little Scrappy, because I don't want y'all to confuse him with Scrap De Leon. When I say Scrap, because it was Scrappy is the original one, but we call him Scrap. Either way, something happened. Next thing I know, Mama D getting her ass handed to her. But I was like, where was she in all of this? Because it sounds to me like anybody's ass you should be getting in, it should be Cece's, because it was inappropriate and she was out of order to get slick with it with Erica's mama. Like, you know, for years now, it has always been said that the trouble between Scrappy and Erica's ability to co-parent, the interference has always been ran by Bambi. But I also believe that Bambi's mama is just naturally messy. What I don't understand is why is it that Scrappy is always standing for his mudlock? Because he was going in on his mama telling her how inappropriate it was. And then Imani, unfortunately, her birthday was ruined. She ended up in the bathroom crying. So, somebody help me understand how that's Mama D's fault for Cece's behavior. I don't understand. I was very confused and perplexed by that. Meanwhile, across town, I say that like Alex Rogers, but that's one of my favorite phrases too, so I don't think I appropriated it from him. But I always like to say that because I read a lot, and I did a lot of plays and things like that in my day. But either way, meanwhile across town, young Jacques, or Jacil, has decided to have a meeting of the minds and find out who is the root of all the chaos and disorder in his happy home. As it stands now, since last episode, Kendra has moved all of her stuff out of their home that they share and has moved into a hotel until she can find more suitable quarters. I said, well, dang. I'm disappointed in Kendra because, well, let me back that up. If what we saw on film is true, then I feel like she acted a little bit too fast, number one. Also, number two, I think she should consider the source. Regardless of how friendly these women are, skinning and grinning in your face, they still have some feelings and they're still bitter about Jacques either divorcing them or leaving them with children. Either way, any woman that you're dealing with right now that's part of his life is a mother of his child, or at least a child, okay? So you allowed what Cena and Alex had to tell you to break up your happy home because you're going about it based upon rumor and innuendo. So he has a meeting with these women, and it's Shekinah, Sharonda, Carly Red is there. Who else was there? Cena. So Shekinah was really the only one that admitted, okay, I'm the one who got from Sharonda this information and shared it with Carly. Carly, of course, is sitting up there talking about she in a happy relationship and she don't know what's going on and it's not her fault that you a flirt. I personally feel like Carly still has feelings for Jacques too. I feel like Cena is still bitter about how the relationship ended, and I feel like she just purposely passed interference just for her own delight in hopes that Jacques will hurt as much as he hurt her, perhaps. And that's what I see in this. But Jacques got so angry, y'all. He went and got one of those trays that the stylists like to use to mix their colors and chemicals and stuff for when they get ready to do your hair, like their prep table. I don't know the proper name, but been in enough salons to know. And he throws it, and then Shekinah was trying to come between him and somebody, and she slipped and fell. And James Caldwell said, we will wobble and we don't fall down. I was like, you have to say that about my girl. Because I love Shekinah. She's a little bit messy, but she means well. Like, she's not one of those people that intentionally, although with the whole Carly thing, I would have never told Carly because you know her true nature, okay? But either way, Jacques is pissed. Ultimately, he does end up going to Kendra's job. Now, this is what perplexed me. What kind of office is this where you have it where you're in a conference room and the conference room door is unlocked? Like, it's one of those office complexes like that has a, why can't I think of it? But, you know, in the middle, like a courtyard, basically. But there's another name for it, not courtyard, where it's fountain or whatever. And he just walks in, right? But, yeah, he just walked in there. And I was like, I've been in offices like that. And usually that is just like an emergency exit. That door is to remain locked most of the time because all it is a turnkey. So he shows up, everybody's sitting there. Now, last week, I happened to watch the app version on my Amazon Fire box, and excuse me, y'all, if y'all hear scraping, that is Miss Pumpkin, my little Shih Tzu. For some reason, she likes to scratch her bed and then get in it and settle in. So, excuse that background noise right there. But the other week when I was watching it on the playback way back on the app, there's a scene that they left out where Kendra was talking to, I guess, one of the partners at the office that she works at, her law partner, and he was asking her, you know, is Jacil's life basically interfering with your ability to handle these cases? Love and hip hop be damned, you still have an obligation to your clients, and one thing attorneys don't want is to have to go before the judiciary board because some client has felt like you couldn't handle their cases. And quite frankly, I'm really surprised. Not that it should matter, but I'm just kind of surprised that she would be on the show. But I guess, you know, a few extra coins, get rid of those student loans. Why not? Hell, if somebody asked me to be on Love and Hip Hop at this point, I would do it too for a coin. All I need, Mona, is $270,000 to get out of student loan debt. Hell, all right. basically, when I was looking at that scene when Jock was in the salon going off, I was like, shit, that went down like a Disneyland brawl down there. Damn, did y'all see that shit? That was fucked up, and I refused to repost it. I saw people reposting it, but I was like, I could talk about it, and I'll send it to you through a link, but I'm not, All right, also in this episode, another mother is in town that was able to make the brunch. That was Tokyo's mother. Mama Tokyo looked good, y'all. Yes, baby. She looked good, okay? She looked good, baby. And her and Tokyo seem to have a really good relationship. And Tokyo, unfortunately, feels like she has to burden herself with all of her emotions and feelings. But again, as I stated last week, some of us just find it best not to tell certain people because certain people get tired of hearing it, number one. Some people just aren't built or equipped to be able to handle other people's problems. And sometimes I have to be reminded of that. That is why we have therapists, counselors, psychiatrists, psychologists, mental health professionals that are there to help you. And if you cannot afford it, let me tell you, there are a host of free groups that are out there for you. I even go to one. Well, I only been to one. I meant to go yesterday, but there's one for people with ADD, honey, baby. Because sometimes I have to really, really work hard to focus when it's something I have no vested interest in. Okay. But either way, there's groups out there, and I think that Tokyo, if anything, you should definitely seek out a therapist. But I'm glad that her mother said you can always talk to me about how you feel about your about your grandmother's passing, and about your father leaving. It's not because he didn't love us. He had to go back to Africa. I don't know what was going on with that. I guess he got deported and just couldn't come back to the States. I don't know the full details, but it was a sweet and tender moment. But all of that calm and cool, despite Hurricane Jock coming through the salon and tearing it up and telling Sharonda they are done. Let's get into Pooh and her daughter Najee. And guess who's on the show? All these years we've heard that Carly has a daughter. None of us have ever seen Carly's daughter. Jasmine is here. In the caption, they told us Jasmine gonna be on the show. So Jasmine is home for this mother's daughter dinner or brunch, whatever it is that Rashida is putting on. We find out that she has been in school for 7 years and still has not graduated with a degree. Baby, let me tell you, that is not unusual this day and age. These millennials, honey, they ain't never, I truly believe that I almost killed myself going through undergrad alone because my doctor had to tell me, Afia, girl, you don't have to finish in 4 years. I said, no, I got to finish 4 years because then I'm going to law school. I ended up taking 3 years off after undergrad because there were times when I was taking like 20, 21 credit hours a semester. And that's crazy. Usually the max is 18, but I would sometimes take 21 credit hours because I was determined to graduate in 4 years. And I did. I went from August to August when I graduated, not in May. Even in law school, I didn't graduate in May. That law school normally is supposed to take 3 years. I took 4 years. So I took a little more sane route to graduate from law school. But needless to say, honey, it is no surprise. And hell, even when I was an undergrad in the 90s, this dude had been a football player, basketball player, cheerleader. He had been there 8 years. I think he finally graduated when I was about to graduate. So think about that, okay? Either way, she's telling her daughter that things aren't sweet between her and Arkansas Mo. And I notice that Carly always seems to stop when it comes to, is he putting his hands on you? Girl, if he putting his hands on you, get out and leave it alone. You make enough money, I'm sure, where you can secure yourself some sort of security or a good attorney that can get a good TRO stuck on him, or just let that shit go. Just be done. You had it out before. If he's that controlling, no man, unless you've given him reason to believe that you would be out cheating, but you seem to be less messy when you're with him, so he kind of good for you, but at the same time, if he putting his hands on you, or if he is making you feel lackluster because of the words that are spewing out of his mouth, leave it. It ain't worth it. So Jasmine is concerned about that, and she has every right to be. They also talk a little bit about Pooh and her daughter, and Pooh and how Pooh has been doing her. And, mess. Meanwhile, across town, Pooh and her daughter, Pooh talking about, honey, I did whatever I had to do. I worked part-time jobs, stripped and everything else to make sure my girls were straight. Turns out she has 3 daughters. All of them are educated. Now, I noticed they kept emphasizing the fact that, oh, they're educated. I was like, you still be educated in a food? I mean, how many people have you seen? Can you look at Congress? Okay, all of them got a degree of some sort. And most of them have law degrees, a PhD, a master's and all that, and they still boo-boo the fool. Okay, although sometimes I think some of them were wealthy enough at the time. Like, I believe that man they say is our president ass probably had somebody go to class for his ass. Okay? So, I guess this might be her youngest daughter, cute girl, studying to be a dentist. So, and they were also talking about settling down. But one of the things I like about Pooh, and I know a lot of people, probably she's not palatable for everyone, and I get that. But I think that Pooh, there is some sincerity in her and a wee bit of humbleness. I think that she really just wants to mesh with this cast. And Rashida was hoping she would be on her best behavior. I was like, Pooh, she gonna come with the shit. Might bring shitty sheet. We don't know. They ain't sanitary. We don't want flies and shit around the food. I'm just saying. But I do like that relationship of them. But I just feel like having an education, that's great. But you can still be a fool. But I appreciate, Pooh doing what she had to do. And ultimately marrying well, her and Hiram, even though they ain't some freaky ass shit. To each their own, though. What you do behind closed doors, as long as they ain't hurting me, I don't give a damn. Do you, boo-boo. Oh, another thing with Carly and her daughter. Carly claiming that she's raised her daughter with values. And I was like, so the complete opposite of everything that you are. Because, baby, if you valued yourself, you wouldn't be running around being messy like that for no reason and getting in your lane. I mean, apparently your boutiques are doing pretty well because apparently being hip-hop ain't it. By the way, today Carly Red did drop a book with Zane's daughter's publishing company. I forgot what it's called, Ever something. But either way, look up Carly Red on Amazon. You can get it. If you got Kindle Unlimited, you can read it with that program for free, as they say free, but y'all know it's $9.99 every month. Or you can pay $9.99 for it, which is interesting. I noticed that Karen King's book is also $9.99. So I guess what Amazon is trying to do is say, well, if you pay for this book, then you can just buy the program for the month and read as many books as you want. But I'll tell y'all something, get Libby from the library and see if they have it. I doubt they do, but you can always try to get it that way too. Although there's always a way. I've had to check out I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara 3 times because it's a good book, but it takes me time to get through a book these days. Attention ain't. Used to be able to read 5 or 6 books in a week sometimes, and I'm not talking about picture books. I'm talking about 200, 300, 400, 500 page books, but I'm older and So part of the reason, and because I missed that, but part of the reason why Jasmine is taking a break from school is because the children at school found out. And it had to have been in the blogs, or maybe as they were taping and releasing episodes, because I think we're like at episode 16 or 17, people have found out, and she said she wants to take another semester off. This is what I'm talking about when people do things like this, is that these things have to be addressed, okay? What you do can often lead to affecting your children. If you have children, there are certain things that you just can't do because society is not going to accept it. You're out here living your best life, smile. But meanwhile, your child over in the corner crying because you living your best life and, oh, what's the other one? I'm doing me. Doing me? What? Doing me? Oh, God. And it's like, you doing you, but you fucking up your child's future in life because kids are mean. And even though it's fictional, but recently on HBO, Big Little Lies, Lil Ziggy and his brothers had to beat up a little boy because somebody done put in his ear that their father is a rapist and he wanted them to know. Now these are second graders, but this shit really does happen. Or look at Blue on Queen Sugar. His auntie done told all the family secrets And now he being picked on and teased and being told what he thinks is mean things when it's the truth, that Ralph Angel ain't his daddy. So think about what you do as a parent. If you truly value and love your child, like I'm pretty sure Erica Mena's son, I'm pretty sure he probably catch hell for her shenanigans and antics all the time. But when it comes to Pooh, I commend her for doing what she got to do, because a lot of parents ain't going to sacrifice for their kids like that. Let me not say a lot. Some aren't. Okay, we have to get it how we live. That's why I'm in debt right now. Okay? But Pooh was going in, talking about Jasmine been in school for 7 years. This might be year 8, because, honey, she said she was taking a break again. All right, so at this mother-daughter's brunch, Shekinah is the host, and she's asking everyone to go around and say something, you know, I guess basically speak life over your mama, say something good about one another and what your mama mean to you. Everyone was cool until we got to Najee and Pooh. Najee was giving her resume and telling her mama, thank you, mama, for paying for me to go through undergrad, get my master's, get my doctorate. I'm so grateful for my mama. You know, here it is. I'm about to be 25 and have my PhD. And Shekinah caught that too. She was like, you a good actress. Because she was like throwing her resume, like throwing shade at Carly's daughter, because basically she trying to say Carly's daughter ain't shit. Because I think Carly's daughter and her must have started out going to college together. And then what ended up happening is Carly allowed her daughter to piss off. Because if Carly is paying for that, once you okay, fine, you need a break. Sometimes it happens. Some of us end up having to take a semester off. I took a semester off when I was an undergrad because I went to the Army to play in the dirt for a semester to get trained to be an MP. Lord help us, Jesus. Yes, y'all. For those of you who did not know, Diva is former United States Army Reserves, but when you go train as a reservist or National Guard, you still have to go through full-time training. 17 weeks of fucking hell. That's all I'm going to say. 6 weeks, 1 week at reception, 6 weeks in boot camp. That's how they did our boot camp for MP school. Same drill sergeants. MP school, 10 weeks of, actually it was easier after boot camp, but I got injured, so it was hell for me because drill sergeant didn't know how injured I was. My back to this day still bothers me. The mic gets to Carly, and Carly was like, I'm so grateful for my daughter, but I wanted to, wait. It wasn't me. I took a lie detector test, and I did not lie. I did not lie. It's here. It's here. Baby, they blurred out them papers. I was like, what the hell is that on there? Is that a restraining order for Mo or what? All the antics. I was like, y'all should just cut her mic the fuck off. That's what y'all should have done. Next thing you know, because see, Pooh be getting crunk in her confessionals like she gonna go off like Jerry Springer. And then Pooh was like, well, ho, when you take a lie to take the test, show me how. I was like, why she gotta be a hoe? Next thing you know, I don't even really know what happened. I know Jasmine went after them. She was getting ready to beat Pooh's ass. I'm like, you respect your elders. How you gonna try to beat up an old lady? That's all I'm saying. Then, next thing you know, Pooh and her daughter are made to leave, but Najee gets the line of the night from me because she was just like, 7 years! It only takes 4 years! Oh my God! Oh my God! It was awful, and I was like, ratchetry at its finest. GG can't take us nowhere. Can't have nothing nice. And by the way, that mother-daughter bakery was a little empty, wasn't it? I felt like it was a little cold. Like, did y'all see any food? I don't recall seeing any food on the table. So, it was a travesty, and all I want to say is best award for non-acting ratchetry goes to Carly Red, her daughter Jasmine. Oh, wait, there's a tie. Pooh and Najee, okay? Baby, I was like, I am too done. But either way, I don't even know what's happening next week. I assume we should see Spice and Sierra and them again, because we should be getting close to reunion time. Lord help us all. Hot mess. Rashida, baby, I'm sorry it didn't work out. You know, you wanted a peaceful brunch with mothers and daughters, and what you got was some banshees and hellraisers. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you either way. But that's all I've got. But speaking of Atlanta, shout out to Voyage ATL for featuring the diva in their online magazine as a hidden gem in Atlanta. As you know, I am the host of A Diva Disturbed on BFAM 109.6. It is an internet radio show that I do every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be dropping the links in the bottom bar as well as a link to the story, so maybe you can learn a little bit more about Miss Sophia the Diva. But that's all I've got. Again, if this is your first time here and you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, share, tell all your friends and family. You should hang out with the diva sometimes. Just enjoy it. But either way, I'm going to continue doing these reviews. I'm behind this week. I honestly have not felt well all week long. I don't know. I don't know. It's the weather or something's going on. But then, too, I have been going really, really hard in the gym, and I think I'm overexerting myself. But that's that military, that G.I. Jane in me, you know. I just go in deep, mind over matter, you know. But either way, that's all I've got. Thank you for joining, Buttercups. Stay fabulous.